Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2022 State of the City Address. My name is Bert Cook. I'm the Executive Director of the LaPorte Economic Advancement Partnership. I'd like to start this evening by thanking Brett Benversi and the entire Civic Auditorium staff for setting up for us today. I'd also like to thank Bare Bones, The Red Door, Melt Kitchen, and Little Bow Sweets for catering this evening. Our event today is being broadcast on Facebook. Thank you to Dunlin Media for their work in sharing this event. Also, I'd like to thank the GreatNews.life team for covering this as well. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for their support. On each of your tables, you'll see a full list of all the sponsors this evening. I'd like to acknowledge a few special guests that we have with us. First and foremost, the First family, Jackie Dermody and Katie Dermody. Katie, I don't know where you are, but you can stand up so everyone can see you, please. We have State Senator Mike Bohachek with us tonight. Mike, where are you? And unfortunately, State Representative Jim Pressel and Becky Pressel aren't able to be with us tonight, but we appreciate their support as well. In a few moments, I'll turn the microphone over to Mayor Dermody for his address. But as the mayor will tell you, all of our accomplishments are achieved by a wonderful team of individuals at the city. Many of them are in attendance tonight, and I would like to recognize them now. So I'm going to make all of you stand up, so if you'll please do that, I would greatly appreciate it. And we'll start with Courtney Parthun, our clerk treasurer. Thank you, Courtney. From our LaPorte City Council, we have Tim Franke, Carol Ficus, Laura Cutler, Laura Knesny, Paul Vincent, Roger Galloway, and Julie West. Thank you guys for being here this evening. From the Board of Public Works, we have Jessica Romine and Mark Kozier. And now our city department heads. Nick Otis and Matt Hagenow, our city attorneys. The attorneys always get a special round of applause. Mark Schreiber, the Director of Parks and Recreation. Beth West, Transport Director. Jerry Jackson, the Director of the Wastewater Department. Tim Warner, the Director of the Water Department. Nick Minnick, our City Engineer. Craig Phillips, the Director of Community Development and Planning. Jeff Batchelor, Director of Code Enforcement in the Street Department. Andrea Smith, Human Resource Director. Jessica Bruder, our Communications Director. Paul Breton, Chief of Police. Andy Snyder, our Fire Chief. And the Chief of Staff, Annette Leffler. So at the conclusion of the mayor's address, he will be taking questions. There are slips of paper on all of your tables. Please feel free to write down any questions you might have. If you're following along with us online, we suggest that you write those questions in on the chat, and we will be happy to get to as many questions as we possibly can. Now, without further ado, a man who really needs no introduction, the mayor of the great city of LaPorte, Tom Dermody.
No peanuts. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me okay? All right. Well, welcome, and it's great to see all of you here this evening. I do want to mention, again, this is a team effort, and we've got a lot of great people here that have helped make LaPorte a better place and the place to be that competes with the best. But we've got more work to do, and it wouldn't happen without our great team. But one person I have to point out is Annette Leffler in my office, Chief of Staff. She is truly the glue that keeps everything running in our city. And then the First Lady, Jackie D. You can only imagine what she has to put up with and tolerate on a daily basis. And then, of course, my daughter, Katie. She's probably hiding from me as well. Oh, I see her back there, Katie Bell. And as well, I'd like to acknowledge former Mayor Lee Morris and his wife, Marcia, and thank you for your service. So we're here to talk about 2022 and the great things that I think we did to improve our community. So let's get after it. And every day that our department heads go to work, our employees, our staff go to work, it's one thing: to make our community better. And we focus on 5 priorities: infrastructure, public service, housing, economic development, and quality of life. So let's start with infrastructure. And Nick Minnick and his team do a fantastic job leading and paving, improving our roads every day. So we talk about roads. We paved 6 miles of roads and spent close to $2 million investing in improving our road system. Since 2016, over 60% of our roads have now been paved in the city of LaPorte. And while we have more work to do, we are making progress every day. And when you look at what roads this year we've done, Washington Street, the second worst road in the city for years, Boyd Boulevard, which was finally done. And then what everybody knows, and I got more calls on, are we ever going to pave the post office circle? And the circle goes away, we finally pave it. But everybody knows where the circle is. The other thing, Mike Fraze, what are we when it comes to pothole? What's our goal? Where's Mike Fraze? I know he's here. He had an emergency. Jeff Batchelor, what are we? Pothole-free LaPorte. And that's our goal every day. And thanks to our street team, we've filled 3,800 potholes this year alone. And I want to take a minute and thank our residents, because they are committed to the future of our community and bettering it, and we get calls every day about potholes that need to be filled. So we appreciate their support. And as well, 2,400 square yards of sidewalk. If we want to be a walkable community, we have to continue improving our sidewalks every day. And then street cleaning, street sweeping. We want to be spotless LaPorte as well. You see the trucks out every day, especially in our downtown. And while that happens, we're going to improve the pavers and curb striping. I can never remember striping. So we're striping. We want you to be proud of everything we do and how our community works and looks. We're also working on infrastructure. Tipton Street overpass. You've all heard about that. How do we connect the north side of our community to the south side of our community without being stopped by train traffic? And most importantly, when seconds matter, how do we get our police and fire department across? Well, we're to the point now where Tipton Street bridge has begun to happen and will continue to move in 2023. And who has heard a train horn ever while they've been in the city of LaPorte? Raise your hand. Who's heard a train horn? We're in the final stages of infrastructure improvements, so we can go back for final improvement with the federal government to be a quiet zone community and not hear those horns anymore. And I want to thank Ashley Dickinson with Northwest Health. Ashley, thank you for your partnership in making this happen. Well, infrastructure just isn't roads and sidewalks. It's infrastructure. It's fiber. And I'll tell you what, last year we announced becoming one of the first gig cities in the state of Indiana, thanks to the partnership with Surf Broadband, where they were committed to investing close to $15 million in fiber. And now we have high-speed internet throughout our city for all businesses and homes across our community. But we want to be cutting edge, so we're not satisfied. We are announcing, and you'll see very soon, we're committed to be the first multi-gig community in the state of Indiana. And Gene Cruzy, give a wave, Surf Internet is going to participate with us in this, that the current gig city, we will improve that up to 10 times being the goal. So picture where people and businesses are going to want to come when they need internet and high-speed fiber. We're still fighting the battle on our old infrastructure. Last year we talked about a 100-year-old problem and a $100 million solution. Jerry Jackson, Wastewater, has done a fantastic job addressing our sewer system and beginning the separation of sewers. We began in Monroe Manor, which was more than overdue. And sometimes we say Jerry Jackson's the king of Monroe Manor. In fact, we're going to put him on the 4th of July parade with a king hat because he has made this a priority. And this is what Monroe Manor looked like early this year. Now, the finished product, new sidewalks, new roads, new sewer system, and new curbs. And we're pretty proud of that, but we're not done. And that was a $3.3 million investment. We also went to Southmore Road, where many of the homeowners were dealing with flooding in their backyard or in their basement. We put in a drain system, and that's exactly how their backyard looks now. We also committed to improving the infrastructure on our letter and number streets. We started with 3rd Street. We're excited about that, and we'll continue to move with other letter and number streets in the next year. We have made, and Jerry has made, the largest investment in sewer infrastructure in the history of LaPorte. As well, there are old homes that still get backups in their basement. And through our backup grant program, we contributed $25,000 to homeowners towards their fix, repair of backups in the basement. So that's sewer. We also have water. And Tim Werner and your team, Tim, give a wave. Tim is focused on a reliable water system for the future of LaPorte. That begins by replacing wells that are 50 years old. As well, replacing dead ends in our city and connecting them to our looped mains, which improves water quality and allows for higher fire flow for our water. Because you know what? You never know when a catastrophe is going to hit. And American Rubber Fire, the water department, provided 5.7 million gallons of water, 3.8 million in the first 12 hours to put this fire out without one situation for residents or our businesses within their water system. And And that leads me to public service. Our fire department had a challenging year this year, dealing with the largest fire in the history of LaPorte that took them 67 hours to finally put out. And I want to thank Cool Spring, Center Township, Scipio, and Kankakee for their help with this fire during that time. Also, 18th Street Greenway fire at their storage unit. And as well, the Lowe's Point building collapse. Throughout all these challenges, I'm proud to say, not one life was lost and nobody was injured. And that's what means the most. But we also have to look to the future. What does our fire department, what does our police department look like in the future? How do we serve our residents best? Now, our firefighters are on 95% of medical calls as we speak right now in the city of LaPorte. Who better than to provide ambulance service and care for those in our community than our fire department? So we're excited to move forward with providing ambulance service in the city of LaPorte coming up in the future. As well, paramedicine program. And thanks to Northwest Health, we're going to allow our firefighters to deal with those frequent flyers, those elderly, the vulnerable in our community that are in and out consistently of our hospitals, be able to have our firefighters develop a paramedicine program, or what I like to say is hospitals in the home, where our firefighters can check on residents that are in their home to make sure those senior citizens are taking the appropriate medicine at the appropriate time. Check for hazards, tripping hazards in the house, or anything that can be difficult for our senior community. Police has also had challenges as well. And when I took office on day one, I said we are going to address the drug trafficking that goes through our community. And it's been a focus. And I will tell you, Chief Paul Breton and his team every day are fighting this battle. But I'm proud to say we've had 114 drug or felony arrests that were completed by either our street crimes team, our department, or the county drug task force, including 2 stings, Playpen 1 and Playpen 2. And Playpen 2, I believe, were 19 people arrested that were dealing fentanyl. And one thing that I'm going to commit to you is we will continue every day to fight the battle of drugs in LaPorte. As I've said, we train the police officers to knock in the front door and bring out the bad guys. Right now, and in the future, many things have changed. We have much more drug addiction, suicide attempts, and other mental health related issues. Our guys are not prepared and ready to deal with that. So thanks to our partnership with HealthLink, they will be funding the first social worker in our police department that will deal with these type of calls and make sure those individuals that need help are connected to organizations that can definitely help them. As well, we're investing in technology, drones that can look over a situation and not having to send our officers into a dangerous situation, can use a drone first. Also, license plate readers. When we have individuals that are committing crimes in LaPorte and taking off to other communities, we can track those individuals based on new technology that we'll be getting to track the license plate of individuals and where they're going. And as well, I want to thank all the communities that supported the public safety local income tax. And especially the LaPorte County Council had the courage and forethought to vote yes and support the public safety lit so that we can fund public safety in the future. Now, I've been in business in my life, and many of you have been in business. I'm not sure how easy it would be if revenues in your business were cut by 30%, yet you were not allowed to cut services. That's what we face because of the property tax caps that I think is fantastic and still support, and I support it in the legislature, and I support it today because it helps homeowners and it allows local businesses and local government entities, I should say, to think in a different way. Courtney Parthune, our clerk treasurer, and her team have done an amazing job to continue to allow us fund programs that improves the life for our residents while watching every penny. And when I say watching every penny, I mean it. I dropped one a while ago and said, "That's city money?" Or, you know, she's watching. And we're fortunate to have her as the clerk treasurer. But the good news is, our assessment in the city of LaPorte has grown for the first time over $800 million. We are doing the right things. Our assessment has grown 8.5% this past year, and we're excited to see that continue to grow with development and increasing our community. We ask all our departments focus how we can do things differently, and transport is no different. Beth West and her team are providing rides, again, of those that are more vulnerable, our senior citizens, to make sure we can get them to the doctor's office, the pharmacy, the grocery store, or dialysis. We began with a $150,000 deficit when we took over this in 2020. We're working towards reducing that to make sure this is a viable program for our future. But we've done things thanks to Beth. Introducing summer passes, lowering the price for buying 10 rides at a time, or during the holiday to get more interest in our transport system, or to take people to places they may not go otherwise. The first time ever we've taken rides to the LaPorte County Fair, so people can enjoy all that we have to offer. Because as I remind our county friends, what's good for the county is good for the city. But also understand what's good for the city, you better understand is good for the county as well. While the people are riding around in transport or whatever, we want to make sure they can drive our community and know that they're proud to be in LaPorte. And it's a clean, positive environment. That's why we take, and Jeff Batchelor and his team take code enforcement strong. They have written 3,400 code violations this year. And we've begun to address the drug-infested compound on Clear Lake this year that has caused 15 years or more of problems, unsafe living, drug trafficking at a time. This is no more, and now we can develop this into something positive for our community. But we're all just not about violations and making things difficult. Jeff Batchelor put together a dumpster program beginning last year that has taken off this year, where homeowners can dump off product they don't at their house that they want to get rid of but have no place to take it. Our dumpster program has been unloaded and refilled 110 times so far this year. Don't let Jeff's picture scare you either. Also, what code enforcement is working on is a landlord registry. It's been an argument, a debate for many, many years. But I'm going to give you one example that happened this year. When we get a bomb threat on State Street, where kids are, families are, and we have to wait 45 minutes to go in the house because we don't know who owns the house and how to contact that individual, that is unacceptable. All we're asking for is to know who owns the house, how do we reach you for situations like this. So Jeff will continue to work with landlords to bring a registry before the council next year. We're trying to make LaPorte clean, prosperous. We want 30 by 30, which is 30,000 people by 2030. To do that, we need to address housing of all levels. And first, I'm proud to say Whispering Meadows, with our own hometown, homegrown builder, Mitch Ficus, that just continues to build homes for our community every day. And I know Mitch is here. He's probably hiding as well. Mitch Ficus, thank you. Timma Bakery. We're excited what Habitat for Humanity is going to do in 2023 in the Timma Bakery site to bring affordable homes to our community, and they're committed to a minimum of 3 homes on this site beginning very soon. And the banks. Who would have thought the banks would have such a great impact? But young professionals, when you think about it, where are they going to live when they come back to LaPorte or move to LaPorte? Most of them would go to Chesterton, Valparaiso. Now we have young professionals that are staying here in LaPorte at the banks, spending their money at our restaurants, our grocery stores, and we've got more to come. And you all remember this, I hope, 701 Maple, across the street from the YMCA, that Chief Breton reminded me this has been going on for 25 years, the violent behavior, the drug trafficking, which now is Maple Commons. And it is completely filled, and not one police or fire call at that building for now getting close to a year. After my first term, where we had 253 emergency service calls in the first 236 days. As well, for the first time, we are looking to have a regional builder come into LaPorte and do more than one-off houses. And Dan Steiner Homes, I know he's here, wave your hand. Dan right here. We're excited to have him come to LaPorte and bid on the 18th Street project that, in partnership with the LaPorte school system, we're going to be able to provide housing along 18th Street and A. And then our jewel, Beechwood Lakes. And I have to give a special thanks to Trish and Dan Luck, who are here, for their amazing donation to this community and all the work they have done. And we talk about people that love LaPorte. I don't know who loves LaPorte more than the Lucks and the Heiler family. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you. But as I know what they're saying, those pictures look good, but they're tired of the way those pictures look without anything on it. And in 2023, it's time to get things going. And we will. Because we have a great partnership, and Maria Fruth couldn't be here today, but the Healthcare Foundation of LaPorte. And I've said, can you imagine where our community would be without the support of the Healthcare Foundation of LaPorte? They have funded a housing study for the city of LaPorte so we can look at all types of opportunities within our community and challenge ourselves to think outside the box. And number one on the list for me is the Triangle. Jefferson, Maple, Harrison Avenue, which is the largest area of poverty in LaPorte County. And we will address the Triangle with housing that is respectful and clean. And I'm excited about how that looks. Economic development. We get the people in, we have a clean place, we have to have things to do, places to work, and Bert Cook and his team have been fabulous. And I told him yesterday, all the calls I get from different companies and saying, hey, is Bert available? Would you think, can we talk to him about a potential job? And I said, well, if you do, you'll never come to LaPorte again because Bert's stuck with us for a while longer, and we're going to keep him here moving. So some of the highlights that I like, people say, oh, we haven't had anything to do for kids. Thanks to Ben Conowitz and Ryan Hart. Ben, Full Tilt Arcade. Even though I've been told Ben plays at the games more than the kids do. Bon Viet. And the new owner at Bon Viet, too, if you haven't met him, in his spare time, he does all the floral arrangements for the Grammys each year for the past 15 years and fell in love with LaPorte. The Red Door. Smoothie King. 7-Eleven coming up with a ribbon cutting very soon. And the new Aldi in Newport Landing, which has had great reviews. But I've had people say the West Side is becoming a ghost town. There's nothing there. And I strongly disagree. When we took over in 2020, we had a building that was falling apart, a parking lot that was crumbling, and was the first thing that any visitor from the West would drive in and see. And we heard those comments. And thanks to former Mayor Mark Krentz, who paved the way with Rural King, we now have Rural King in the mall. And we're also pleased to announce that Planet Fitness is currently doing work, and they're going to be opening very soon. Our own hometown Cablin's is going to be number one, which was my priority to take down the Streeter building. And then number two, contractor work, what do we call that? Workshops that'll be filled at the Cablin Center. And then, for the first time tonight, we will be officially announcing at the old Horizon Bank building that national coffee chain Bigby Coffee will be coming and setting up and opening in early February. Do you like Bigby? All right. And it doesn't go without saying, especially from Mike Riley's mom. Every day for the last 2 years, we've been working to bring a West Side grocer, and we will do it. We also have other development opportunities. Again, our great partner, Northwest Health, we're all excited to see what December 1st or after happens to see the demolition. Again, my idea, like in Las Vegas, to charge tickets to watch the implosion did not go over well. I lost that battle. But we're excited to see what type of public gathering place for all our residents can develop, and we appreciate Northwest Health allowing us to be a part of that discussion. You know, everybody's happy when things go well, but you'll learn a lot about individuals when things don't go your way or problems happen. Well, I'll tell you what, we're relentless. And we've got a partner in Tommy Very at Lowe's Point that is the same way. And yes, we had a collapse. Yes, we had a problem. And many people were ready to say, oh, look, and we heard it every day. Now we have an eyesore. That'll never get cleaned up. That'll be a problem. Nothing will ever go there. Well, it didn't take Tommy very long before he started working on renderings that show, and his goal being to still move forward and having close to 10 downtown apartments with a little courtyard. That's what we're going with today, a little courtyard up front. But we're excited. He could have easily walked away and left a mess. But now we're still moving forward, and you will see something happening here downtown. As well, the Tube Craft building on our East Side Industrial Park, taking up the last parcel, their brand new building. And then bringing Patrick Industries, a world-renowned company, locations, I think 250 locations around the world, setting up shop in LaPorte. Because we took a chance with Bob Qualls and said, if you build it, they will come. So Bob Qualls built a spec building with the hope someone would get interested. Well, now we have Patrick Industries here. Then number two, we competed with New Jersey for American Rentalets' new warehouse. And now that is right next door. Not in New Jersey, but right here in LaPorte, Indiana. As well, they're already beginning their third spec building. And look for that development happening right now and through 2023. Every community competes on incentives, and we're no different. But what we're trying to do is when we bring these businesses here, to make sure we have a prepared workforce. And we've got somebody special at the LEAP office. Eric Nelson, he's ignoring me. Eric Nelson has been working with LaPorte schools, and let's give Eric a round of applause. LaPorte school system is committed to making sure all our graduates have somewhere to go and can be successful. And for those that are not moving on to higher education somewhere, Eric works with them every day as a partner with the LaPorte school system and connects them to Ivy Tech, another great partner, and private business like Scott Hamilton with New York Blower, right there, where we're now providing the first welding course for adults to learn how to weld because that's such a need. And I just want to add, every day Eric's job is to put somebody to work, and right now we're over 65 people that he's provided jobs or training to that are back to work. And that's a fantastic news for our community. So when I took over, started running for office, made that decision 4 years ago, people said, there's got to be something to do. There's nothing to do in LaPorte. It's boring. You got to provide options. I think it's going to be hard pressed for people today to say that there's nothing to do in our community. And that also begins with the continued growth and expansion of our Chessie 2 bike trail through our community, as well as the exciting news, thanks to Heather Ennis, and I know Heather might be here, she had to leave early, who's been a great supporter, and going with the Chessie Trail Phase 3 with State Ready Grant money that will connect the city of LaPorte to Michigan City and the South Shore Singing Sands location, and also the Marquette Greenway. Can you imagine people, whether from Chicago or other parts of Northwest Indiana, that can bike to the city of LaPorte on safe trails? We're excited. And Mark Schreiber and his team, making sure the park department allows people, everyone, to be able to enjoy our lakes through kayaks, through rentals, so everybody has capability to get into a kayak, or just golf. Beechwood Golf Course had its largest year ever, or one of their largest years ever, this past year. Mark also said, we're not going to leave our seniors behind. And when we took over for the Swanson Center, the senior center, we're not only going to maintain what's happening now, but we're going to make sure our senior population are proud to be in LaPorte and have somewhere to go and something to do, if it's up to us, every day. And the American City and County magazine, national magazine, recognized that there's always something to do here at the Civic Auditorium, your house. And I'll tell you what, we're excited. We're excited that we committed American Rescue dollars to fixing the roof, adding an HVAC system for the first time ever in the Civic, so we can host events in the summer and make it available in the summer. Now, I hope you'll all be excited when I say, also add brand new seating in our Civic Auditorium. Because we want to bring more events in our indoor concert series. As well, the NIBC basketball tournament, which will now have 10 of the best high school teams in the nation, and ESPN will be back this coming January to cover 3 days worth. And we appreciate our partnership with La Lumiere. And Mark Schreiber, our second downtown ice rink that's developing, because we also have, in my mind, the best planner around, Craig Phillips. And Craig, give a wave. That's been working on Beechwood Lakes. I just didn't want to put pressure by naming him at that time. But as well, our downtown, making it a more walkable, enjoyable downtown. And also Winterfest. And then many of you may have been at our Friday Night Lives on Atlas Stitch for the 50s Cruise Night, or Taco Fest, just to name a couple. And then something was our dream, Jackie and I dreamed about this. What can we do to take advantage of our natural resources? We have something special here that only other communities wish they had. And that's when we took Lakefest. And Lakefest is now real, not only for our residents, but surrounding communities and people from other states now come for this special 3-day weekend. And thank you to Jess Bruder, our communications director. She has done a fantastic job through Travel Indiana, letting people know Indiana's best kept secret is the city of LaPorte. And also she worked with WNIT in our town, and I hope all of you had the opportunity to see our town presentation and the history of LaPorte and what we have to offer. And by the way, they have CDs available, great Christmas gifts. And then we have Andrea Smith, our human resources director. She has been fabulous at being aggressive to make sure our employees are taken care of, because they're making an impact and we don't want to lose them. And being responsible to the taxpayer by saving money while increasing things such as life insurance. So not only our employees know we care, but their families know we care, especially at the time of need. Because I'll tell you what, our elected officials, our department heads, and our employees, they work hard every day and come to the office. But they're also the ones that are cleaning up the trash after events on a Friday night at 11 o'clock. They're doing the things necessary to keep our community beautiful. As well, they participate in slicer mentoring programs for the middle school and the high school for those kids that may just need a little support and a little love. But we're also very competitive, and we expect to win. Every day we're working, or every day that we're competing. And so we enjoy when we go over to Michigan City and beat Michigan City in the boat races. Or for the first time ever, we participate in Elkhart's community go-kart race amongst many other communities. And thanks to our team, came away with first place, where I'm going to have to admit, when Tim Warner took over the kart, we were in last place, and you can't see what happens. And all I know, around the other turn, after the second turn we couldn't see him. Suddenly we're in first place. So I don't know what happened, but I didn't ask any questions. And Denise Conlon, she's been a great partner to us in the community from NIPSCO. Denise, thank you. And we were acknowledged with the Luminary Award this year for local government excellence. So that means a lot, and thank you very much. And who we consider part of our team, Nick Otis, Every Day, and Newbie Lewis, Kaminsky and Jones. Because you know what's neat about Newbie Lewis, Kaminsky and Jones? We have Nick Otis, we have Matt Hagenow, we have Anthony Novak, we have Jim Kaminsky. All four of these individuals care about LaPorte, care about our county, and want to make sure things are headed in the right direction because they care. And I've never seen an organization where we have a variety of opportunities, a variety of issues that happen, And they have a full range of support and professional, sometimes I have to be careful, professional answers for us that keep me out of trouble sometimes. And we're fortunate to be partners with them. But you know what? LaPorte is special. We have community residents that care every day. And I'm honored to say Bill from Culver's provided all the free food to our firefighters while they fought that 67-hour blaze. Or Bolt to the Heart donating AEDs that can save a life in the city of LaPorte. And thank you to Julie West as well. But it's not always organizations. Just seeing Dustin Johnson, who lives along Kingsbury Ave, on his own, didn't like how the sidewalk was looking, so went out there and was cleaning it because he wanted to see a spotless sidewalk. Or the Sales family, or Nate Laux, I know Nate is here. Nate, you wave. The PAC Center, providing, yes, providing free Thanksgiving dinners to those individuals that just might look for friendship or a meal. So where do we go from here? We're excited at what we've accomplished. We're far from perfect. I'm reminded every day that we're not perfect and I make mistakes. But we do have a team that cares. And whatever we do, we're going to make an impact. And number one, would you want to be a young family that wants to come downtown LaPorte, have your kids get out of the car and safely go to a restaurant for dinner? The truck traffic has to be removed off our downtown and provide an alternative route by building a north-south economic corridor that will also include development and more development for our community. And these aren't easy decisions, but they're the decisions that need to be made for the future of our community. And Lee Morris, many years ago, started this discussion. And look where we are today. We owe it to all our city residents to make sure they have the best quality life possible. And can you imagine at 39 North, at one of the factories, if there was a fire right now that needed 5 million gallons of water? It's not going to happen. You can say whatever you want, it's not going to happen. So thanks to working with our LaPorte Utilities and our team, we're looking to fix the infrastructure problem on 39 North in exchange for annexation, so that they can have the proper water flow and quantity to be safe if a fire does happen. You all, I can't thank you enough what an honor it is to be the mayor of our city. We've done a lot. We've got a lot more to do. And I'm telling you, LaPorte is a special place, and it's going to be the place to be as we continue to grow. If you believe, you stay here with us. We're going to continue to move this community forward, develop, shake things up, and I'm just excited to be partners with all of you to make sure it happens. Thank you. Happy holidays. Have a great night. Department heads. Too long? Was it too long? Bert, questions?
Yeah. So we are running a little bit long, but if you'll hang with us, we got some really good questions submitted. So just for a couple more minutes, Mayor, I kind of parsed through those and picked out some of what I think are the best. And I'll start with many other local governments seem to be constantly fighting with one another. I appreciate that the city of LaPorte, and they identified the city council and the mayor seem to work well together. Why is this the case, and how does that benefit the city of LaPorte?
Well, I think we've got city council people that care about the community. It goes back to what I said. They're just not showing up to meetings. They care about our community, want to make a difference, and improve on the problems that have been ignored for too long.
Okay. LaPorte needs more affordable housing. What are you doing to create these type of opportunities?
Thanks to the Healthcare Foundation, we're going to be looking at the opportunities in the triangle, which is lower income. But I'll tell you what's been ignored for too long is the current set of housing that we currently have. And that's why Jeff Batchelor has gone door to door and his team to clean up what we have. We cannot ignore that, and people deserve to live in clean, respectful housing, but we're moving quick and we're going to have housing for all levels.
So we got a variety of questions about our living situations downtown. I'm trying to encompass a couple together, but why is this a priority for LaPorte? Have we considered changing our parking regulations, or what are our expectations in terms of if people are living downtown, where they would park?
Well, we're just finishing, and Craig Phillips, once again, just to add to his list, he's finishing up a parking study that we're reviewing, and we'll be making decisions maybe even this year, as we move forward.
All right, maybe we'll end on this one because I like the question. What's being done to bring and keep younger professionals in the city of LaPorte versus going to Valpo or other communities?
Well, I hope I can point to what I just said in 2022. We're trying to continue to develop our quality of life. Valpo doesn't have the natural resources that we have, but I'll tell you what, you see their new parks. We have to continue to compete. You see what Crown Point does. You see these other communities. And we've put together a future plan someday of $150 million adult activity center somewhere that will include a facility, develop our baseball diamonds. We have to continue to move forward with more trails to make sure the quality of life is the best it can be, but also will give a reason that people come here versus Valpo versus Crown Point.
Thank you, Mayor. So if you'll all please join me in thanking the mayor for his comments tonight.
Thank you.
The city of LaPorte is an amazing place with a tremendous amount of positive momentum. We thank you all for joining us this evening, and we hope everybody has a wonderful holiday season. Good night.